Good afternoon and welcome to Science Fiction Retirement Library. I'm happy because again I've got a huge and heavy box and I think there's 90 books in here. So my 17 kilo, I don't know if this is heavier than 17 kilos, it feels it. And it's from my friends at Evergreen Pages again. They had a deal on eBay. They do these 15 book lots and they're a good price anyway, and then they kind of discount them quite heavily in some cases. And they do discount on shipping as well. So I bought 6 of 15. So if there's 90 books there, I'm going to basically probably do 30 books per episode. I think it's ranging from 60 science fiction and fantasy, I think mainly science fiction, through to 90s, I think. So very random. A lot of different types in there, I think, different publishers. But again, like I normally do, I'll put a bid in or I'll buy them or I'll go as low as I can. And then the excitement is opening the box, right? So let's see how we go. So skizzers to open up. Okay, so I just stopped to take a photo of the box because it's really nice to look at. So I can see 6 books on the top and they all look just really, really good condition. I kind of want to show you. I'll put a picture up. I'll put the picture up. So yeah, very excited. So let me do 30 books in 3 batches and let's see what we've got and see if we've got some additions, some upgrades to the Science Fiction Retirement Library. So the first one I see is Mac Reynolds, Earth Unaware. And this looks unread. I think it's quite old. Oh, maybe not 150. So maybe these, did I say 60s to 80s or 90s? That's what I got last time. So, okay. So first Ace, Stoneshire, paperback, 1983. So that looks, I looked at that and I thought that's old and that's in really good condition. So it's old, but it's not that old. But I haven't got a lot of Mac Reynolds. His godlike power held an entire planet spellbound. So nice copy, good start. Now, this is a Del Rey, and I think this is one I saw on the listing. Attack from Atlantis. Lester Del Rey, they were trapped miles beneath the sea, and by people who couldn't exist. Who couldn't exist? Yes. So again, is that 80s? Or is that older? But that's cool. Again, you guys know that I like the underwater world. And if this is sci-fi in the underwater world. So 1978, and again, it's like it's unread. So very happy with that. I've never heard of that either. And that's a cool cover. And it's a Del Rey, by Del Rey. So 2, is this fantasy? Kay Kenyon, author of Leap Point, Rift. So whenever I see covers like that, I don't know. I question a little bit. Bantam, a bit of lean. This must be 80s, is it? So some of the ones I got before from Evergreen Pages were a bit damaged like that, I think. Or not damaged. It's like they've been stored somewhere not ideal. Like great condition apart from that, like just browning. So this is 1999, a Bantam Spectra book, September 99. Mapped by Jeff Ward. Kenyon's characters are realistic and complicated. 24-year-old Reeve Calder has spent his life on a high-tech space station watching a terraforming project. So it's kind of science fantasy. Anyone know anything about Kay Kenyon? Never heard of them, but that's good. Number 3. The Further Adventures of Eric John Stark, The Hounds of Skaith by Leigh Brackett. Good. So I've only read one Leigh Brackett, which was something to do with Mars. It was a princess of Mars or something. And it was quite good. It was like rip-roaring, you know, I say rip-roaring yarn. So, old school, for sure. Is this? Wow. First published in Great Britain by Sphere Books, 1976. So, Sphere, that is, again, unread. And I have to look again what the deal was. But I'm pretty sure these were, again, like 60p a book or something like that. It was a really good deal overall. Obviously there was postage and packaging and it was big. The Hounds of Skaith, Leigh, Brackett, Sphere. That's fantastic. Very happy with that. So far, so good. Really, really, so far, so good. Okay, this is one I noticed, this NEL. Andrew Lester, The Thrice Born. What I'm noticing, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but the condition of all of these is unbelievable. And some great covers. So this is this 80. First NEL paperback edition, 1977. It feels so much newer than 1977. It feels like, in my hand, it feels like old shop stock or something, which is kind of the best you can get, right? Andrew Lester, The Thrice Born. I feel like I've seen this cover as well, and it's on my radar, right? So that's fantastic. Wow, what a start. I obviously wasn't expecting that much from this, but I've been very, very pleasantly surprised. The Delicon, a futuristic story full of excitement and suspense by H.M. Hoover, and that's a magnet. And again, that looks like the best condition magnet book that I have. And it's a great cover again. Slightly cut off at the bottom, but you see that sometimes, right? So how old is this one? Is this late 70s as well? Magnet edition, first published 1979. Wow. Fantastic. So that's 6 books already. So 1/5 of the first batch, and so far, absolutely awesome. Next, Bios by Robert Charles Wilson, award-winning author of Darwinia. Never really seen that before either. This one's a bit newer, I think. Yeah. First published in Great Britain in 2000 by Millennium. And this is, yeah, so Orion. In the 22nd century, interstellar travel is possible but colossally expensive, so humankind's efforts are focused on the only nearby Earth-like world. Isis is rich, unfortunate name, Isis is rich with plant and animal life, but every molecule of it is spectacularly toxic to humans. The whole planet is a permanent hot zone. So I haven't read Hot House yet, all this, but is that a nod to Hot House maybe? But still, good. Jackson T. Farrell, The Flight of the Endeavour. And this is Mayflower, I think. Manor Books. Not as good condition as the others, but still awesome condition. Science fiction at its best. Manor Books, 1978. That's nice. The Flight of the Endeavour. And only the petty minds of the anti-progress faction stood in the way. They were people whose ideas were so negative that they saw only the bad side of every new idea. People who would never have come out of the caves if some adventurer hadn't dragged them kicking and screaming into the future. What do they call that? The killjoy, or the... What do they call it in sporting terms? When you go out for a coffee. Oh, I can't remember. Some kind of sapper. Oh, this is another nice sphere. So that is 2 really nice spheres. The Leigh Brackett. Now this is Fritz Lieber, The Night of the Wolf. Look at that. Fantastic again, and really good condition. The shelter cities lay deep and soulless beneath the deserted land, but not deep enough to escape the earth-boring bombs that turned them into tombs. From the radioactive destruction emerged the wolf people, the nomads, instinctive killers. Unread, definitely unread. And looks like not faded or anything. So this one, 1976, originally 1966. Wow. Some really good books here, and slightly off kilter ones, like not the ones that I regularly see. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 so far. Mike Resnick. I have got, I think, 1 Mike Resnick. Something about ivory. I think my wife bought me it for a wedding anniversary. I think that's Mike Resnick. Haven't seen it, but this is called Oracle. Interesting kind of, I don't know, 80s cover. I should say 90s cover. As Carol To Carol, as always, and to Mark and Lynn Aronson, close friends for a lifetime. Since Penelope Bailey was a little girl, all humanity has been frightened by her awesome psychic talent. Able to perceive the future, she is suspected of being able to bend events and men to her will. Most men call her a monster. She calls herself Oracle. Nice. Again, because it's 90s and it's got a cover like that, do I judge it in my head a little bit? I think I do. But still, I want to grow the 90s, the 80s and the 90s sci-fi collection as well, so that goes towards that. And this looks like one of those kind of things. Armoured, part human, part machine, all soldier, John Joseph Adams. Again, not really my thing. It looks like Warhammer 40k or something. But I'm open to anything, including stories by Jack Campbell, Brandon Sanderson, that I've heard a lot about on BookTube, Alistair Reynolds, Tanya Huff. So this is a kind of a Bane. I'm not a big fan of the Bane, but looks like they did pretty well in the 2000s. Second paperback printing 2012 for John Steakley and Robert Heinlein. So Orson Scott Card with the forward, Jack Campbell. Oh, Dan Abnett. I've read a lot of Dan Abnett in comics. He's good. And I think he actually does the Warhammer. He does a lot of the Warhammer literature. But he's a good writer, Dan Abnett. Okay, so there's quite a few in there. There's like 20 stories or so in there. So, again, military sci-fi, I think. Decades ago, Starship Troopers captivated readers with its vision of a future war in which power-armoured soldiers battled giant insects on hostile alien planets. Today, with the success of Iron Man, Halo and Mech Warrior, and with real robotic exoskeletons just around the corner, the idea of superpowered combat armour and giant mecha has never been more exciting and relevant. Yeah, something a bit different. Now, I think I've got this one. I think I actually got this one as my 1000th book, if I remember rightly. Is it this one? I don't know. I put a post on and I think it's this book. And I think I've got one in almost mint condition, and this is almost mint condition, so this might be a giveaway. Tactics of Mistake by Gordon R. Dixon. And this has got to be, I was going to say late 70s, mid 70s, 1975. Great condition again. The Men of Dorsai. So I actually got some pulp as well with the serialization of Dorsai. I don't know if I got the full serialization, but that's definitely one on my radar that I want to read. And that could be an upgrade, may not be, but still great. Okay, this looks old, Tandem Sci-Fi, but in really good condition again. Feels very shiny. Operation Terror by Murray Leinster, or is it Leinster? I hear some people say Leinster. And when I hold this, it feels shiny and solid, and can I say it new? You can see the shine off the light, but it looks old. So is it one of those ones that's made to look old, or is it actually old? Wow. Universal Tandem Publishing Company, 1968. It's hard for me to convey because it's in my hands, not yours. But can you see that? That is definitely unread. And it feels like a brand new book. So I don't know if this is like old shop stock, or I don't know. I don't even think it could be old shop stock. If it is, it's like sat in boxes. Mankind faces extinction at the hands of interplanetary visitors. Great book. Great book. And there's more Murray Leinster. So this one is a Manor Books again, the Hugo Award winner. The Grecs bring gifts. The alien Grecs promised paradise, but they created hell on Earth. So that's a bit different, but the quality is good. It's got a few chips, but it feels very solid, very new. A Manor Book, 1975, originally 1964. And yeah, it's authentically old because it's got the Kent Siggies in it. The Grecs came to Earth bearing fabulous gifts such as machines that did any job automatically and fertilizers that made any plant shoot up overnight. But they presented their gifts with utter contempt and with a look in their steely grey eyes that made men's blood run cold. Yet no one suspected the horror of the Grecs' gifts that sowed the seeds of man's ultimate destruction. Nice. A couple of really good Murray Leinster there. Okay, there's more Murray Leinster I can see actually, but this one is E. Doc Smith. Oh, this is the stuff with Stephen Goldin, so the Family D'Alembert series. I've got a few of these. So Panther, again, not in as good condition as this. I don't know if I've already got this. I don't recognise the cover, but I've got a few Lensman and a few Family d'Alembert now, and I do want Doc Smith on my TBR, and I'm probably going to read the first Lensman pretty soon. So I'm allocating a few from my science fiction retirement library as TBR, like let's say 10, and then I'll choose from those as my next book, and I'm going to add that to my my visualization, my analytics as well, to help with that. And I'm also adding covers. That was one of the version 2 editions. So Panther 1978, a slight crease at the top, you can see there, but if they're all in that condition in my library, I would be very, very happy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Great. Great, great, great. What's this one? Daniel Ransom, The Fugitive Stars. So it looks new, but it's a new door. I haven't got very many new doors. I say new, I don't know, 20 years old. 1995, 30 years old. First printing July 1995. A research biochemist receives a package from a fellow scientist containing profiles on 6 people suffering from an unknown disease, plus tissue samples for study. Both scientists are found dead shortly thereafter, and all trace of the files and samples have vanished. Nice. The Fugitive Stars. Daniel Ransom. Let me know if anyone's read any Daniel Ransom. Okay, Christopher Stasheff. I've got a few of him. I think I've got the trilogy with the Barbarian on the front, and I can't remember his name. But this is Mayflower Science Fantasy, first in a stunning new space fantasy series. The Warlock in spite of himself. Oh no, it is. It is the Warlock, I think, that I've got, but I haven't got that. Yeah, I don't know if this is... I think it is the Warlock in spite of himself, but it's a different version. And it's not as thick as this. So what is this one? Oh, King Kobold. Yeah, that's the other one. But this Mayflower, is this older than? First published in Great Britain in 1974 by Mayflower, which is this one. So this is maybe the first British. It's got a little bit of damage. Originally 1969. The Lost Planet of Gramarye. Yeah, I remember reading about Gramarye. Wasn't so much evidence of galactic advances as a phony shrine to the forgotten traditions, rites and graces of Renaissance Europe. Eons ago, disenchanted Earthers established a feudal utopia there, a monster-sized epic. Nice. As I say, there's some... Like, I think I've got a copy of that, but I haven't seen that kind of darker copy. So there's some really nice books in here. Okay, back to the Murray Leinster. Space Gypsies, Sphere. I think that is that one of his famous ones. It's quite a bland but cool cover. Why should humanity destroy itself? The Marintha hurtled into space to discover the secret of the galactic ancestors of the human race. In the shattered rubble of great civilizations, they discovered bizarre remnants of humanity, beside whom they would battle the poisonous forces arrayed against all human life. Again, definitely unread. It is in lovely, lovely, crisp condition, and first published in Great Britain in 1968. And this is 1968. Wow. So much better than I expected. I am, again, as I usually say, I'm a lucky boy. Oh, I'm a really lucky boy. Someone sent me this book. So I can't remember who it was. I apologise for not remembering who it was. They sent me a copy of this book and said, I've just found this and I thought of you because it's, I don't know if it's underwater. Yeah, Man's Mystical Union with the Sea. And he said, it might be useless, it might be rubbish, I'm keeping it, but look out for it. And I've just got a copy in this hall. The Man Who Lived in Inner Space by Arnold Federbush. I'll find out, I'll remember who sent me it. And this is great condition as well. And I actually added this to like a watch list on eBay so I wouldn't forget it. It was like a sold listing. And I don't think this is easy to get. I could be wrong, but, and again, he was saying it might not be very good. Bantam Book Fantasy, The Man Who Lived in Inner Space. But the cover's good, like very moody. It's got the yellow text block. And I think it's quite old. Arnold Federbush. Bantam edition, May 1975. Imprisoned in a mutilated, almost useless body, the victim of a chemical plant explosion, Colin sought to return to inner space, the vast unknown realm of exquisite splendour and monstrous terror. So it's like Locked In syndrome. Part Jules Verne, part Jacques Cousteau, part Rachel Carlson. That's going to be on my TBR, and it's a really nice copy as well. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, first pan, I think, and I have got this. I think I've got a couple of copies of this, but again, this might be a better condition copy. Seed of Stars, the second book of Venture 12, pan. In shining, newy condition. Whew. And you can never tell, can you, on like a listing, on online listing. First published in Great Britain 1974 by Pan Books, which this is the version. Can we even begin to understand the motivation of a completely non-human race? That is a gorgeous edition. And I think I've got an upgrade again. Wow. What's that? 20 books. So I might do 45 in this. So I'm only 13 minutes in, let's see. It depends how I feel. I'm meant to be working. Wolf Star, R.M. Meluk, and Another Newish Door. So mid to late 90s. Again, it's got this sticker over the top, so I don't know. Was this originally shop stock? Okay, Browning again on this, but I think it's because of the modern books. Okay, this one, 2005 door. Part 1, Scorpion Sting. The Merrimack and the Monitor. The Earth Space Forces, spearheaded by the United States, have long retained an advantage over the Romans through a slingshot technology that permits them to cross the vast distances between two crucial space stations, totally bypassing Palatine territory. Again, not something I would ever pick up. Is it the cover? Is it the storyline? The blurb? But I want to have a range of different things. Okay, first weird little book, 2 and 6, Corgi. And I did get a lot of Corgi in the South Coast last minute auction haul. So this is called The Isotope Man, Charles Eric Maine. It rings a bell. Have I got a different copy of this? So this isn't as good condition, but it is much older. And it's got a bit of spine. Lean. So this Corgi edition, 1959. Doesn't say anything about it. A novel of the atomic age, imaginative, exciting, genuinely disturbing. Nice. I've got a growing collection of these little ones. I don't know what the official format name is, these little ones. Okay, another NEL. I do love these thin NELs with a colourful wraparound. Well, it's not wraparound, but a colourful cover. It reminds me of that Christopher Priest one I got, plus the one here. Stained Glass World, Ken Bulmer. Great cover. Nice pastel-y colour. Just a city on a planet somewhere. Under the Dome. Again, looks unread. A little bit of Browning. 1969. First published in Great Britain by MacDonald & Co. Kenneth Bulmer, 1969. First NEL paperback edition, July 1976. I don't think I've got that one. Stained Glass World, I'll have to look. That's good. God, there is a range in here. So there were 6 lots of 15, but even within the lots, there was a range. And I think it was like, I have got a 1959, but like 60s to, I said 90s, but there's some 2000s in here. And then when I see something like this, the brilliant new Matador novel by the author of Black Steel, Steve Perry. Beyond the dimension of man lies the brutal realm of Brother Death. I don't know, I'm intrigued to see, do people collect these? Do people get excited about the Brother Death novels? Yeah, that reminds me of like computer games when I was a kid. Altered Beast and stuff like that. 1992, Steve Perry. Ace book. The elite who command the wealth of an entire planet, each is given a warning of impending assassination. Each is surrounded by bodyguards, but in every case, the death stroke falls on time. Yeah, not sure. Anyone read that? It's very shiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we did another 6, that's the first third. Wow, this is good condition as well. So an old corgi science fiction, Beyond the Barrier by Damon Knight. And the impressive thing again is the condition. And again, you can see the shine off the window. So crisp, so square. Never read. And this is Corgi edition, published 1966. Wow. I've got some amazing things from these Evergreen Pages. I'm very impressed. I don't know if they had a big stock and wanted a quick sale or whatever, but some really good books for really good price. So 1966, Damon Knight. I've got a growing Damon Knight collection as well. As most things, I've got a growing collection. Joe Haldeman, Mindbridge. Oh, this is a good. So First Orbit from this box, and that is a great Orbit. So any older Joe Haldeman, I'm happy with. I think I've got a copy of Mindbridge in a different livery. Oh, this looks interesting inside as well, because it hasn't just got text, it's got kind of symbols and stuff. So first published in Great Britain 1977, Futura. So I think this is like a first UK again. When sensors detect the presence of alien intelligence in the region of the star Acarna, a team of tamers is sent to investigate. They are never seen again. I've only read Forever War, and I loved it when I read it, again, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That is a great copy. 3. So 4 more to go. Hey! Now, I've got a copy of this, and it always makes me think of science fiction reads, but this is better condition again, I'm sure. George Zabrowski. So I've got a couple of George Zabrowski, and science fiction reads is waxing lyrical, I think, of George Zabrowski, and I mentioned it on a very recent episode. But look at the condition of that. I don't think Zabrowski's got a lot of publications, a lot of novels, but this one is, again, awesome condition. First published in the United States, I remember, Ace Books, 1972. This is NEL, though. NEL 1974. To the First Clarion Writers Workshop, 1960. Great. So I might have another one for swapsies, for giveaway. Okay, more Gordon R. Dixon. I think I heard at least one Gordon R. Dixon. The Man from Earth. Very simple title. The Spaceman. Going on to an alien planet, maybe. And that's good condition as well. Tour. First tour. From when? 90s? No, second printing 1987. How has this undistinguished race from a backwater spiral arm won for itself a galaxy? It is not intellect, a few of them are rather bright, not many. They're machines, other races possess better. When the humans conquered them, not even valor, many were fearsome more than humans before the humans came. No, it's none of these and nothing. What power is in them? All things are possible to the man from Earth. Interesting one. So Gordon R. Dixon, is Gordon R. Dixon Farewell? Oh, that's D.G. Compton, isn't it? So Gordon R. Dixon is spatial delivery, which I haven't read, but I've got. And what's the other Gordon R. Dixon? Is the Outlander? It's the Outposter, Outlander, which I've also got. Okay, Space 1999, Planets of Peril. Oh, and it's a Star paperback. I do like these Star paperbacks. So I'm a bit young, I think, for Space 1999. I think it's more my dad. Michael Butterworth, stunning new series. A Star original, based on the successful TV series, which I guessed, which was obvious. 1977, this novelization, copyright Michael Butterworth. And it's got some photos. And it is in unread. You can't say pristine, like you can't say mint, because it's got some kind of wear, but it's minimal. And therefore, a book collector, a library curator, cannot ask for more than this. TV times as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One more, and then I can take a break or not. I'm going to see how I feel, maybe check my emails. Corgi, JT McIntosh, This Is the Way the World Begins. This rings a bell as well. It rings a bell as non-fiction, but let's see. Man was free to roam every planet in the galaxy, every planet except Earth. Maybe not. From the holiday planet of Paradiso, one could go on many exciting tours and excursions, Mars, Venus and the Moon. Even the most distant and alien worlds were accessible to the inquisitive holidaymaker, courtesy of Starways Inc., the giant combine which owned Paradiso and over half of the galaxy. I don't think it's I don't think it's Hitchhiker's kind of tongue-in-cheek comedy-esque, but it's got a feel to it. 1977 again. Lovely condition again. I think I've got a couple of JT McIntosh, one more JT McIntosh. So that is 30 books, I'm pretty sure. So let me just pull out a few favourites, because there are a few here. Let me pull out my top 3. There's 3 already I've put down, but actually, yeah, maybe I'll do top 5. What a great, oh, that's good as well, that H.M. Hoover one. So maybe it's more than a top 5. The best thing about this is the quality of the condition. Like, obviously there's some amazing books in here in terms of classics. There are some genuine classics in here. But the condition is very, very surprising. I was not expecting it. So let me choose 3 actually. So that one, maybe the Joe Haldeman. I think I'm gonna go that one because I haven't seen it before. So top 3 from that haul. Futuristic story full of excitement and suspense, The Delicon by H.M. Hoover. I've never seen that before, and it's Magnet, which I don't have a lot of Magnet in good condition. There's something about that book that attracts me. This one, because I had a subscriber who sent me this saying look out for it, and that's what I love about the hobby is, you know, these coincidences happen, right? It's just probability, and now I've got this book, and it looks awesome. The book itself looks awesome, story may not be, but let's see. And then Andrew Lester, The Thrice Born, just because it was the first one that from that batch that basically told me these could be crazy good condition, crazy good books. So that's the first batch. I think that's 20 odd minutes, 30 books in, and 30 books almost certainly that will go straight into my science fiction retirement library, including a couple of upgrades. So join me as I do the next 30 times 2, and yeah, just lucky, awesome. Please subscribe if you can, because most of my watch hours are non-subscribers again. So it really does help with lots of things. And I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.